Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good ever, wherever you are. I am Carl. This is the final Saturday show of the 24-25 season. We've got loads to discuss about, including the final day of the Premier League games as well coming along, and also the championship playoff final between Sheffield United and also Sunderland as well. We'll also talk about the squads of the of England's selection announcement with a shock return for Ivan Toney and Phil Foden has been dropped out. Alongside, we'll talk about the Scottish Cup final between Aberdeen against Celtic as well, and alongside also this past season, all the past season as well, with all of the upcoming games in the next couple of days. So as of today, this is we are good. There's not a lot of fixtures on today, but let's get on with the show and completely and discuss what's happening. So one game in the UEFA Women's Champions League is between Arsenal and Barcelona at 5 o'clock. Barcelona can win it, can finally win it later on today, as well. And with it today as well, Arsenal could be the first English champions to win it. Celtic, playing against Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup final. That's another huge game as well today at 3 o'clock at Hampden Park. And at 3:01 p.m. is the richest playoff game in playoff game is Sheffield United against Sunderland. Michael is not on today. He's down in London today. It's going to be a momentous day for the Mackhams as well as the Blades. Are also today can they go back promotion for the first time, asking back to the Premier League as well in the Spanish La Liga last couple of games as well. Last game for Carlo Ancelotti, his final game as well, dream manager before he takes on the Brazilian national team job. They're at home to Real Sociedad. Espanyol home to Las Palmas later at 5:30. Real Valladolid under a bit disappointing season under the ownership of Ronaldo. They're away against Leganes. Debut Alvarez against Osasuna. Getafe against Celta Vigo as well at 8 o'clock, and then Mallorca go away to Madrid to Real Vallecano at 8 o'clock today. And then it's the German DFB Pokal final between Arminia Bielefeld against Stuttgart later today. And it's the final games in Serie A between Bologna against Genoa and Monza, who will be relegated. They go away to AC Milan. And then the Coupe de France final is PSG against Rev at 8 o'clock later on tonight as well. And then tomorrow it is the final round of all the fixtures in the Premier League. A lot of stakes. We'll talk about that shortly. Leicester City, this could be under Ruven Niswa's last game as Leicester City manager. They go away to Bournemouth. Man City needs to win to get themselves into the Champions League qualification. They go get Fulham away at Craven Cottage. Ipswich Town at home to West Ham United, and it's a party. It's a party for Liverpool. They left the title at home against Crystal Palace under Trent Alexander-Arnold's final game as a Liverpool player. Aston Villa also need to win tomorrow to confirm themselves in the Champions League as well. They're at home to runners up of the Europa League, Manchester United. Newcastle also need to win as well. They're home against Everton at 4 o'clock, and it's a big game. And between Nottingham Forest and Sheffield, one of these teams were able to get into the Champions League spot, or both of them could miss out as well. That's at 4 o'clock, which will be live on Sky Sports Premier League. While Southampton are going to get their home to Arsenal. Arsenal have already confirmed they can finish second. And Europa Cup, Europa League winners Tottenham Hotspur. They're at home to Brighton Hove Albion after they won the Europa League. Europa League on Wednesday night, and it's Brentford will go away to Wolves as well tomorrow for the final game of the season. While in the League One playoff final, only one game. It is Charlton against Leighton Orient, and that is at 1 minute past one. And then on Monday, it's the League Two player final between AFC Wimbledon against Walsall, which is at 3:01. And the Ross game in the Scottish Premiership playoff final, it's Ross County against Livingston. They drew 1-1. We'll talk about more than the incident at the end of the game involving the fan has been issued a lifetime ban due to spitting onto one of the Ross County coaches. And then on Wednesday night, it is the UEFA Conference final between Real Betis against Chelsea. That is at 8 o'clock live on TT Sports. And then on Saturday, it is the big one. It is PSG against Inter Milan, which is a Champions League. Can Inter win their third Champions League title, or can PSG finally, after years of spending a bit over €1 billion Euros? Can they finally win the big one this time? We will see later on today, later on next week as well. So that's all this stuff the Sixers will talk about as well. And you know what? As I said, let's go discuss about the Premier League final day games as well. And what a huge weekend it is, especially for the top for the final spots of the Champions League qualification. And the big one we'll have to talk about is Man City at home to Fulham. Man City away to Fulham, sorry. Yes, no Mateo Kovacic suspended after Man City beat Bournemouth 3-1 to try to, it's in their hands after beating Bournemouth 3-1 under Kevin De Bruyne's final home game as Man City player. He will, he will probably be playing the last game. Also, Rodri made his first appearance back after coming back from an ACL injury as well. He will not be starting tomorrow in tomorrow's game at Graham Cottage. John Stones is only absentee for Man City, and also for Fulham. Carlos Vicinic and William could feature for the final time. Both contracts expect is expiring at the end of the summer. No Fulham without the injuries of Harrison Reed, Tim Castane, Rodrigo Menez, and Reece Nelson in the squad. And this is a huge game for Man City. We know Pep, after a very tough season, the way they lost to last week to Crystal Palace in the FA Cup was a disappointing week season. It's been a disappointing season for them. That is Pep's first trophyless season since he became Man City manager in his debut season in 2016-17 season. I don't count the Community Shield as a trophy. It's a glorified friendly, to be quite honest with you. But it is a disappointing season for Man City completely as well. And joining us, we got on this morning is good morning to Reese. Reese, how you doing?
I'm not too bad. Obviously, still disappointed about midweek, but I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. But as I said, listen, we'll talk about what happened later on the show. I know you're not gonna. I know you're not gonna try it completely, but we'll just we'll try and cheer you at the best ways we can do.
Says
Well,
me.
maybe from a lead starting point of view, I'm just happy as Larry that you lot did win it. But yeah,
Rightly so. Rightly so. I've just seen Mo Salah's won the Player of the Year.
yes, yeah, I've just seen that as well too. Actually, congratulations to both sides to win the playoff of the year. So, Reese, we were just talking about the Premier League final day tomorrow. Lot of stipulations and permutations tomorrow, especially we have to talk about the big game tomorrow, and it's between Nottingham Forest and Chelsea to battle that final spot out there. Can I ask you, how do you expect these two teams going into tomorrow's game? Because it's kind of out of their hands in a little bit because, with Man City win early this week against Bournemouth, Newcastle, look like it can win against Everton, who are on the holiday. Aston Villa going to a very disappointing Manchester United on the final day of the season. How this is going to pan out tomorrow for those two teams, especially with both Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, and Chelsea.
I agree with you. It's definitely out of their hands. I think when you look at it, it's more favoured to Chelsea. I think it's more favoured to Chelsea just because of the situations behind the scenes with Forest right now. I think Maniakis, whatever he's called, I think he's an absolute moron for how he's treated Nuno Santo, even though I just don't understand how he can act in such a manner that's now potentially leading him to exit the club. So I think if you're a betting man, you would say it's more on Chelsea than anything else. So yeah, I think Chelsea are going to pip it here.
Yeah, uh, you know that a draw for both of the seasons is not good enough to expect
No, they have to
despite
win.
they have
Yeah.
to win. Yeah, despite the other results, especially between at Newcastle and Villa and down at in the Old Trafford, St James's Park, and Craven Cottage. I know Nuno said yesterday he's not going to try not to focus on the other results. He's focused on his team, but the
Mhm.
fans are going to be on. The fans will find that, and the message will spread through across the ground.
Oh yeah, yeah. They'll be on their phones. It's becoming a recurring thing. Final day, if your league position's at stake, or for European football, everyone's on their phones. But yeah, it's going to be quite the series of games.
Very much is. It very much is. It will indeed. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. Newcastle home to Everton tomorrow as well. Reece, we expect that Isak might be a chance he might be playing tomorrow. He hasn't been training much this week.
Hmm.
I know Trippier is a doubt, but Matt Taggart could be returning to squad after a month out. Everton kind of on the holidays after after the last game at Goodison Park for the mains team last week after beating Southampton. Newcastle know that everything's still in their hands.
Uh huh. I think you would expect Newcastle to run out this game. You would expect it just from this season alone, but there's times where their team has been very, very cocky and they've been pegged back. I feel like because I think they will get cocky against Everton, and I think right now Everton are one of the few teams we don't want to get cocky against. Because if this had been Sean Dyche's Everton, then I would say be cocky because they were doing really poor. But under David Moyes, they look so replenished. They look relaxed with the ball. Defensively, they're much better as well, and they're more focused on the attack, so they're a much more balanced side. I think if Newcastle want to win this tomorrow, they need to score early and then just keep the ball. Because if they don't score early and the game drags on, I think Everton can nick it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting first 5 to 10 minutes for Newcastle tomorrow. They need to start early going forward and impact the results. Going into Old Trafford, Aston Villa, they go away to Manchester United. Man United without Martinez, no Delight, he's missing the squad, but Lenny Euro, Daryl and Zertsky all will return after the action in Bilbao. No, Jericho Ramos is back after his suspension. No, Rashford, he's ineligible to face his parent club. He's missed injuries. Euro Tillmans is could be ruled out due to the hamstring issue. You know, again, what a good season that Aston Villa's had completely, and somehow they're still the close to getting back into Europe again. And like I said, they're going to a very very disappointing Man United side who had a bit of a below par performance after Wednesday night, and it's also against even the last game before against Chelsea where they were disappointed. For Emery again, he has defied the odds again. Getting Villa getting close back to you, regardless where they're going to be finishing.
Yeah. He's done perfect for Villa. I think Villa have got the right manager in him. He's found a good level of a squad that plays for him, that understands his methods. They don't muck about like other clubs do. Like other clubs players like to muck about and embarrass themselves. Whereas the Villa players work hard. They play like every game's a big game, and they play really good football. Even if it's defensive, they still play. When they're on the back foot, they play really well. And then the minute they trigger an attacking phase, they come alive. They're an enjoyable team to watch. I think this is a reality that Aston Villa next, depending on how long they keep Unai Emery, and if they continue to keep backing him and they keep giving him players instead of like saying, "Well, the squad's good enough, we don't need to do anything." No, they've got to keep backing him. If they keep backing him, there's no way, in my opinion, that Villa won't win something. I mean, you look at what clubs have won trophies this season. There's no way that Villa can be within a shout in the next season or two of winning something like a League Cup, a FA Cup. Maybe they win a European trophy. Unai Emery knows how to win in Europe. They might go and win something. They won't win the Champions League, but maybe they'll win the Europa League, or maybe they could win the Conference League if they somehow magically slip, which won't happen. But they can win whatever they want to win, provided they just put the money in. They need to. I think something they're going to lose this summer, which I think is a big loss. They need to try and get Asensio on a permanent deal. I know I said it when I was last on here that Asensio's been a big coup for them, even for the second half of the season.
Yeah,
I think they should sign him permanently. I think they should not try to lose Leon Bailey. Apparently, he's going. I don't think they can instantly. I don't think they can afford to lose him, Asensio, and Diaby. Well, obviously, they lost Diaby at the end of last season. I don't think they can afford to lose those three particular players all in the space of a year and a half.
yeah,
I think that would cause them major damage. They've got
Yeah.
some good players like Jacob Ramsey, Morgan Rogers. I love both of those players. I would take them at my club in a heartbeat if we could. Tielemans in this when he's back next season, they put some good midfielders around him. You'll see something. Obviously, John McGinn's still reliable, but they need to start looking at upgrading their midfield now if they want to be serious contenders in Europe in the league. I think they need to look at defence, particularly besides their centre back pairings. Like, can they improve on that?
Yeah.
Obviously, Emi Martinez is going to leave.
Yeah, that's the big
Um,
one I was going to come to. Is that they're gonna? It's going to be a huge replacement for Emin Martinez if he does leave. Do they go for that Espanyol goalkeeper that is being rated a lot by some Premier League clubs?
yeah, I have a good goalkeeper in mind for them, and it would do me the world of good. I think they should sign Onana. And then we can take Emi Martinez because at least we'd have a goalkeeper and not a skid mark. Um, I think when you look at it in truth and lo and behold, I what's up, Chris? I think there's no shame in going for a highly rated goalkeeper, but let's be real. Aston Villa have got the money. Aston Villa have got the pedigree to sign players now. They should be going for better goalkeepers. Like there's another goalkeeper in world football that I really well. There's a couple of goalkeepers in world football I really like that Aston Villa could easily splash up the money for, and the likes of Unai Simon from Bilbao, who is
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. Like he's potentially going to be a question mark in the summer because Valverde potentially is one of the favourites for the Roma job,
Yes, he is.
which
Yeah.
which is incredible considering all the work he's done at Bilbao. He's another manager I'd be like when I look at the managers across the globe right now, and obviously we'll come to my club very soon, and I'm not one of those reactionary get the manager out type fans, but if for some reason the manager chose to leave, I will name managers who I actually would like at the club that I think are much more. And I'm just going to start going more realistic now than wishing things. But one of them is one or two maybe a wish, but you'll see some realism in terms of who I name. But in terms of Aston Villa, midfield, absolutely, they need to look at. They need to look at the front line and who they can replenish, especially if you're going to lose Marcus Rashford, who I didn't think was going to stick around at Villa anyway, but he's been okay for them. Goalkeeper, I think they should go for someone big. Like, big idea. Why not tempt Porto and Diogo Costa? Another
That's the
goalkeeper
other
I'd
part
love.
I was thinking. 'Cause he's been linked to a move to Man City this summer, and I did say this
Yeah,
last year
I
during
love
the
him,
Euro.
eh?
Yeah, he's Pep's type of guy, and the only thing I can think of, John Guy, seeing what he's done at Espanyol, he's had a very, very good season. I'm surprised not if
Even another good goalkeeper, I think that'd be quite good for them. I know I've mentioned Unai Simon. Excuse me. I actually think even if they're looking specifically at La Liga, why not Alex Romero from Sociedad? He's another reliable
yes,
goalkeeper. If they want to look at the Premier League, I don't know where he's going, but Kelleher's right there. He's apparently leaving Liverpool.
yep.
Kelleher, first team minutes for Villa. I don't think he's an absolute outstanding goalkeeper, but he's a reliable
He's a
goalkeeper.
reliable goalkeeper, and then no wonder like ourselves been linked with him as well, Villa, Newcastle, and some of the
Yeah,
other
I think
clubs
it'd be
as
a good
well. Yeah,
move. I think it would be a very good move for him, like to replace a World Cup winner and arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world, in Emi Martinez. Like that would be outstanding. But there's so many options across the world of football. Like even in France, there's a couple of good goalkeepers like Chevalier at Lille,
yeah,
Lafont at AS Nantes, the good goalkeepers. Serie A, there's some decent goalkeepers in Serie A that might work, like Carnasheki. He's a goalkeeper I really like. That Atalanta goalkeeper.
yeah. I like him as well. Actually, and I'm been watching a lot more Serie A games this season.
Oh,
He's
Serie A has been incredible this
yeah.
year. If Napoli don't keep him, he's on a free transfer this year.
I know.
Alex Merritt.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah,
And they've just won the league, and they're
I
looking
think
to.
Conte
They're
will
not.
be on like getting sign him in a long term deal. If you lose him, I'm going. I think that's gonna be the ultimatum now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless he goes well, unless if you can't keep him, then get me someone who's top, like a Carnesecchi. Like he,
yeah.
he needs, he definitely needs a goalkeeper in the summer. But if Merritt leaves, but absolutely insane where we are right now with clubs across the world. But there's options there. There's a madness. Who knows? But if they want Onana, 30 million, he's yours.
I don't know. Do you know what? We will do a keep sell loan sell shortly if we buy United. 'Cause I think I want to get
Oh,
tickets.
oh, I can't wait to laugh at that squad.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. But in terms of the top five at the moment, with the last three places,
yeah,
who's going to finish in the final spots? We already know that Man City is likely because Man City's got a good record against Fulham. That's no doubt.
yeah.
Newcastle, it's going to be a tough game against Everton, but I think they will get there. It's between that fifth place spot.
I think it's going to be them as champions. I'm just calling them them. Since they've tied our record now, I'm just calling them them from now on. So them, City, Chelsea,
Ooh.
Arsenal, Newcastle. I think Arsenal are dropping to fourth. I don't rate Arsenal. I don't rate
See,
them
thing
at
is,
all.
Arsenal can't probably can't drop into fourth in a way because they can only go low as I'm thinking low as third is now because
I'm checking the table now just to be sure. And
yeah,
how
I
funny is this? According to Sky Sports app, the playoff championship final kicks off at 3:01.
and I'll tell you why. And this
Is
is
that is that silence or something?
no, it is not.
Oh,
So
The Scottish Cup's on at 3 o'clock as well.
I did mention it. So I did get this. There is a reason why this happened. So there's been a campaign to spotlight every minute's campaign. This initiative
Mhm.
designed to encourage fans to learn CPR equipment with life-saving skills that could make a
Oh,
difference of an emergency.
that's very good. That's very good then. Fair play, fair play. There's lots of really good games on today, actually. I mean, there's only one game that really affects me. I'll be watching that tonight, and that's Milan Monza, even though nothing can happen. But the Premier League tomorrow, 4 o'clock games are going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
Um, no, you're right. Yeah, Arsenal can't drop as far as third, but that all depend. Actually, no, they can't because the only way they can drop is if City were to win by 8 goals or
eight
more.
goals. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so unfortunately, Arsenal are finishing second.
Yeah.
So actually, you know what? Chelsea fourth, Newcastle fifth, City
Okay.
third. Yeah, I think it's going to be very close though. Like when I look at all three teams, I can see one of them dropping points. I think Newcastle might draw. I think Newcastle might, yeah, them. That's what they're called now. I actually, you know what? Actually, I'm going to revise it. I'm going to go Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Villa,
Okay. I
because I actually think we don't stand a chance. Let's be real. We don't stand a
no, you
chance.
don't. That is a fair point. Yeah.
I think I think Newcastle are going to take Everton too lightly, and I think they'll draw. And I think well, Chelsea will just murder the defense because when Chelsea are backed against the wall, they play good.
Yeah, but would Chelsea have a huge rotation because of Wednesday night? That's gonna be the question.
I don't think they'll rotate for this game. I think they'll go strong. I think they'll go very, very strong.
Right. Well, Chris has gone for the last place for City,
He thinks,
Newcastle,
oh,
and Villa.
he thinks
I
Chelsea
think
drops
because
out.
yeah,
Fair.
yeah, I'm going that same way as him because Chelsea and Forest are just going to cancel each other out, and that's
Yeah.
going to be the issue. They're going to cancel each other out, and I can see this as a draw for some reason. For this my own reason, I can just see this as a draw.
No,
You know,
it's a good point. It's a good point. Um, it's interesting to see how Forest go though. If it's just Forest right now, behind the scenes, their mentality is going to be a question that I'm eager to see.
hey, they
Um,
had to get that win against West Ham last Sunday, which was I thought in a way it would be tough, but they got the win eventually. You know,
yeah,
like I said, what's happening going on with Nuno being linked with moved to Roma and everything. It's just yeah, it's and then now Gary Neville's being banned by by
that yeah, that makes no sense to me. Like because he called out the owner, but the owner's he was well within the right to be called out.
I know,
What he did was disgraceful.
I know. I know, I agree, and I think there's been a blood between him and the owner since probably the start of the season. With how I think you know I think the guy never called them like a mafia club early this
Yeah.
season. What he said, and I think that played a huge part in that one.
Hmm.
I
If
just
he
think at the moment it's yeah. I think Forest because Marinakis, he relinquished himself of being he's still the order, but he had to relinquish it because of him, just in case if they get in the Champions League, him and Olympiacos are going to be in the same competition.
Which I respect he did that. I was glad he did that. I was like, "That's somebody who really cares." And then he goes and does this. I'm like, "Yous haven't been in Europe since, like, 1990
Yeah.
or whatever it was when you won the League Cup."
Yep.
I was like, "Yous have done feck all in terms of getting into Europe." Nuno gets you in his first full season in charge,
Yeah.
and you blow off on him. And I thought at the start of the season, to be fair, I said they should get rid of him. 'Cause I don't think his style of football might actually do them any good, and I don't particularly rate him, but he's like I say, I like when people prove me wrong, and he has, and I think the way things are, if he leaves, then there's some decent clubs out there that'll take him, and I can think of a few top of my head.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There will be a few clubs who could take him as well. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Do you know what? We'll get to Man United later on in the
Thank you.
show. Yeah, we'll
Thank you.
give you more to brief it. But let's talk about the big game today. Two big games today. Not the EFL Championship playoff final, but also the Scottish Premiership. We'll start
Yeah.
off with the Championship playoff final. This is the richest game in playoff final.
It's
No, Michael's is not on it here. He's down.
it's we
He was
it's
here in Edinburgh this week. Actually, early this
it
week.
was, yeah.
Yeah, for a couple of
Yeah.
days with some of his friends, and then he's now down in London today for the big game today.
Mm,
Listen, after last this season, it's been a tremendous season in the championship with Leeds and Burnley finishing 100 points. Uh, what do you think of today's game? It's gonna is this gonna be a lot more closer than it's going to be because both teams have beaten each other this past season as well. I think Sunderland should have got a draw at Bramall Lane after they went down to 10 men as
yeah.
well, and then they did win on New Year's Day, which I went to on 2-1 as well. When a very, very, that's when Sheffield United will start to wobble that period as well. So
Yeah, they were. Well, I don't really watch as much the championship, but I do watch games when they're on if something's there.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
I'll be watching more next season. Actually, I'm going to get into it a little bit more because I think it'd be really good to just talk on it a little bit more. Um, Especially when I'm getting mugged off by Julio for saying I don't watch it. But I'm like, well, it's not really my attraction. It's not really my attraction. I prefer watching Serie A and the Bundesliga, and Serie A has proven to be the best league again in world
It has
football.
been
So
actually a season which I quite enjoyed. I really like.
yeah,
I watched it late on this season, and I quite really enjoyed it compared
yeah.
to yeah.
I mean, obviously, my team have been shit this season in terms of the league, but like, honest to God, Scott McTominay won Serie A Player of the Year.
I know. And then
Which
Scott McTominay and Bill Gilmore won that title for Napoli. How the hell do these two players who I don't get it. I mean, it just shocks me how
I don't
Scottish players
know.
are doing well in Italy. It just shocks me so much. How the last couple of years, it's been so good for Scottish players playing in Italian football.
Oh, I've got honestly no idea. It's been absolutely incredible. I've just seen here before I give you my thoughts on this championship final. Sorry, according to Pete Hall, Mateus Cunha could be confirmed as a Manchester United signing as early as the game tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's not enough for me. Like, this might sound crazy, but Man United need in the summer. This might sound incredibly unrealistic. I don't care anymore. But Man United need at least 9 signings,
mm,
at least 9. And people are going to go, no, 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 it's not realistic. I was like, well, a big club should be able to sign players to improve their squad, especially if there's no Europe. You can sign 9 players to replenish the squad.
yeah,
But
you
that's
can.
the aim, exactly. But in terms of the Championship playoff final, I will be watching it, and to my own pain, I will be watching the Scottish Cup final as well.
I know,
Um,
it's a pain for you. I
it's
know.
a pain because either team winning I don't like, which is worse.
Yes,
But obviously,
yeah.
but I know which team I would rather win. But in terms of the Championship final, long story short,
Sheffield United have had 9 attempts and failed 9 times in the playoff final.
I think they're going 10 for 10. When I look at the final itself, the team that I really wanted to get promoted have got a good chance of getting up. So I'm all in behind Sunderland today. I really hope Sunderland win. I'm sick of the stripper clubs getting promoted.
Yep.
I'm all for stripper clubs being banned from the Premier League. Your club, I'll make an exemption because I love the
Thank
rivalry.
you. Yeah, thank you. I'm fine with that. Yeah, yeah, I'm cool with that.
The rivalry matters a lot, so your club can be exempt from being a stripper club, but the likes of Norwich, etc., can stay away. And obviously the same for Sheffield United. I mean, I like Steve Wilder as a manager, not his style of football. I don't like it, but I like him as a manager. He's a very well spoken man. He loves football. I'm surprised he's went back there. I think the man's got a real issue with not trying anyone else but Sheffield United. Is really embarrassing.
Yeah, he did work well at Middlesbrough. Yeah, he did work at Middlesbrough. He was linked with the Hearts job a couple of years ago, which I was
He,
glad he didn't get it. 'Cause
oh, imagine you guys playing his 3-5-2. Yous would have been boring.
I know,
3-5-2s are fun. His 3-5-2 is crap. Like,
crap.
let's be real,
Yeah,
it's not fun at all. But
no, it's not fun. No, it's not. It's not really
when
fun at all.
when I look at this team, though, I look at the quality across Sunderland, and I think this game is tailor made for Joe Bellingham and Chris Rigg to just embarrass them up and down the pitch. And I think they will. I actually think Sunderland are going to win 2-0.
Wow, wow. Well, Michael, if you're hearing, you got your really back 12. Reese's bats Sunderland to win 2-0 as well. Yeah, I
I
just
think they will. Yeah, I think they'll outplay them. I think this is the one game where you might see. I was watching a couple of games back, highlights wise, just to see the difference in the squads since I last watched them. And so I watched a couple of games where both teams won and lost, specifically because I want to see how they react. So I watched Sunderland versus Cardiff. Sorry, Nathan. I watched Sunderland versus Swansea, Sunderland versus Norwich, and I watched Sunderland versus Leeds at the start of the season. And they were all very balanced results.
yeah.
So then I watched Sheffield United versus Burnley, the recent game where they got mugged by that midfielder when he scored twice. I can't remember his name. The number 8 plays for Burnley.
Oh, Josh Brownhill.
Yeah, I think he's got to be Championship Player of the Year for me, surely.
Yeah, no, I think yeah, somehow it was a Sheffield United player got championship season. It was
That
Gustavo
that's
Hamer, which I was a bit surprised. I thought Brownhill had a shout actually.
that is weird. That is weird. So I watched that game. I watched that game live. I watched Sheffield United versus West Brom at the Hawthorns. I watched Sheffield United versus Leeds at Bramall Lane, and then I watched Sheffield United versus there was one other team. I think it may have been Preston, but no, it was Coventry. Sorry, it was Coventry. God,
Yeah,
that game was boring. I watched the highlights, but imagine watching that game live. I would have shot myself.
I know.
Absolutely dismal. But the way that I looked at them in terms of responses, Sheffield United, they didn't really respond as well to conceding conceding against those teams, but they also didn't respond well to how they went on the attack. Whereas Sunderland
Yeah,
really took the game, like they took control of the games really well. This is a game where obviously mistakes can happen, but if a mistake does happen and it's a big one, it's game over. And I think Sunderland are going to capitalise on that. I think Sheffield United are going to make a mistake, and I think Sunderland are going to really put them to the sword. So yeah, I've got Sunderland to win this.
yeah, no. It'll be interesting as well. The game will kick off at 3:01 live on Sky Sports Football if you are in the UK, and wherever you are, it'll be live across on your local listing
Yeah.
as well. Right, the Scottish Cup final, another a huge game between Aberdeen against Celtic, and Celtic can do the trouble again. You look at the
Oh,
result, to add,
oh,
Aberdeen aiming for the first win to 10th time in the first time since 1990 when they beat Celtic on penalties in the 1990 Scottish Cup final. What's your take on this, Reece? Because I think it's a foregone conclusion. If if Aberdeen can get something in the game in the first 15, 20 minutes, I think it'll be close. If not,
I,
Celtic will win it eventually.
it's going to be a long afternoon for Aberdeen. Like, and if Celtic win today, that's another extending treble as well. Which is really annoying. At one point, Rangers held the world record for trebles. Now Celtic, I think Celtic can annihilate that today. I think. God Almighty, God help us all. Um, I'm hoping Aberdeen win. Obviously, the lesser of two evils, but if this had been the Scottish Cup final, if the Scottish Cup final had been played at the start of the season, Aberdeen wins this game all day long
Yeah,
because they started the season better than even better than Celtic did, but they do what they do best. They fall away like cut sheared sheep, and they got sheared heavily in the second half of the season. Obviously, they did have some good results. I mean, they did humiliate Rangers in the second half of the season, but who hasn't? When I look at Aberdeen in general, they really need to play. They need to play with confidence. Like I know that says a lot because it's against Celtic, but you shouldn't be afraid to play Celtic. You shouldn't be afraid to play Rangers either. But Aberdeen seem to do this. Aberdeen seem to be afraid to play Celtic, but they're always motivated to play Rangers. And I'm like, it's a little bit hypocritical
Yeah.
of like Aberdeen claim to be a big club, but they're only afraid to play one team. And I'm like, no, no, don't be afraid of them. You've got good players. Go and take them on. You don't have to out. You don't have to obviously outpass them. Nobody in the league realistically is going to outpass them. Although Rangers might if Russell Martin gets the job.
Oh God, that
Uh,
yeah, I know, I know.
if he gets the job, Rangers are going to play like 900 passes a game and only have like 5 shots, and then I'll end up suffocating because I would
Hey,
rather.
it'd be good to see Devin Cooks beat you guys next season. Like, yeah,
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. I hope he doesn't get the job, but I like possession football when possession leads to some like attacking play, not smothers teams to submission. That's not exciting. That's not football. But when I look at Aberdeen, they've got a good core squad. Obviously, they don't have Miovski anymore. They sold him to Girona, which is still a wild move.
yeah.
Good money they got for him. Duke's still there. He's still a big lad. He's still a good player. I think they've got a decent squad to get the job done. Graham Shinney's still got a level of experience in there. He can combat Callum McGregor in that way, like experience for experience. Obviously, I don't think he's going to play, but you've got Graham Shinney's experience who should hopefully give them some confidence. But just like the championship final, I think this game's going to come down to whichever team makes an error and if they can capitalise. But Celtic have got a lot of they've got a lot of artillery in that squad, whereas Aberdeen realistically they only have Duke. So they need players to step up. They need players to really organise. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Aberdeen change their system, maybe just to deal with Celtic on the attack. The only chance I see Aberdeen winning, and this is just me being really honest. You said about the first 15, 20 minutes. I think Aberdeen win the game if Engel starts.
Yeah.
Because for a club record signing, he has been awful. He has been awful. 2 seconds, my door has just gone. That'll be my new laptop stand.
Okay. All right. Let you get on with it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Regarding that side of things, and that's a good point. If Engels, really not been, he's been one of the not been the best signings, especially for a record signing like what Reese said, which is a very true point as well. I just think looking at, I think this is a foregone conclusion where Celtic, under what they've done, it's just been tremendous as well. Tremendous as well, But
It sadly was not, but hopefully
it
mines
was
will
it
be
was
here
not.
soon. Something from my mum, which is embarrassing. Hopefully mines will be here soon. They said it was 3 stops away ages ago, so
You know what free stop means? It means 8 stops.
more like 100.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, this is going to be interesting. Like I said, if Engels, as you say about Engels, not
He's
not being good, not the season. No,
he should have came into this team really easily and slotted in. Like he realistically should have because it fits him so well, and he's been diabolical, and I can't explain why. Like I actually do not know how he's been so bad, but Jesus Christ, like he's been a. I know a lot of like football fans love to mock Rangers for their transfers, and obviously they don't work out a lot, but Rangers haven't spent 20 million or 20 million plus on a player in a long time.
yeah,
Like it's very rare that Rangers spend even more than 15 on a player,
yeah,
and they spent 20 plus million on Ingles. I think it's up to 30 million, depending on clauses. And what's he done to show for it? He's going to win trophies, obviously, but that's because of the club he plays for.
yeah.
But
But
he's not. He hasn't contributed in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion, to this team. I know I've said it a few times before. I would have loved Matt O'Reilly at Man United. I think Celtic personally, I think they'll regret selling Matt O'Reilly. I think he was a different
yeah,
kind of threat for them,
that
and
will. I was surprised. I thought someone from the top six would have got him.
I was begging for him, eh, I was really begging we signed him in that midfield, but it didn't happen. I was like,
You
she's
can't
just
just walk past there, yeah.
yeah, she's just walking around guilty and all that, like, she can't help herself. But she's a she's a riot, eh, but, like, I think when I look at it, I'm eager to see how this final goes. I don't think there's gonna be one in the midfield. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be one in the defensive errors, and whoever makes any. See if I can push that there we go. Push
Yeah.
that down a little bit at the back. I don't like this stand, but at least I'm
That's why you're
replace
using a new laptop stand, I get it, yeah.
I've bought, like, a USB one, um, like, a USB, laptop stand. It's got, like, 8 built-in USB slots.
Okay,
So
that's
I'm
good,
like
actually.
"You'll come in handy when I need it." I've just seen here, actually, another update, specifically from United District saying Al Hilal's fee well, actually, no, it's a question, which is absolutely funny. Is Al Hilal's offer of 100 million for Bruno Fernandes a fair fee? Uh, Add another 50 million, then it's a fair fee.
Fair fee, yeah. Give me
I'm
another
I
50 mil, yeah.
I'm like, I know obviously, like, Eden Hazard's one of the best players in the Premier League ever, like, so obviously him going for 150 million to Real Madrid, I'm not saying Bruno Fernandes is Eden Hazard, but in terms of what he's worth to Man United, he is like our Eden Hazard. Like, we should be demanding more than 100 for him, especially even though he's 30, is our best player statistically for the past 5 years.
Yeah, that's true as well. That's true as well. Listen,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
huge finals today.
I think Celtic wins this. And if the way I think Celtic win this could,
I agree. They kick off a minute before the championship final. They kick
it
off
don't
at
make no
3.
difference. So,
No, it doesn't. I'll be watching both at the same time anyway, so
yeah, same here as well. Actually, I'll be doing the same as well. Actually, so
it's gonna be tight. I think this might go their last fight. To be fair, their last final did go the distance, so it might happen.
yeah, yeah, I know. Chris just got this question. Bruno Fernandes, man out United fan base. Ability wise, he's rated, but for attitude, he's it rated.
No, that's true. There's times where his attitude really is his downfall. I've said it so many times before. Bruno Fernandes is a player that plays with his heart in his sleeve, but there's times where he really does play with his head, and it really matters where he needs to. It's annoying to me that all season he's delivered in Europe and then he never showed up in the Europa League final, which really bugged me. But like in terms of the squad, like he's done really well in a deeper role this season.
Mm,
Like he's been very effective in the deeper role, but yeah, his attitude at times really is his own downfall.
yeah, says well. Listen, I know I'm bearing the bad news, but your rivals Liverpool they have made initial contact with Bayer Leverkusen for a move for Florian Wirtz. I know Man City have cooled the interest, but bloody hell, this is a huge smack in the face if this tries to happen. This could be the biggest deal of the summer.
Yep. And if that happens, I will be absolutely raging. I do not want to see Florian Wirtz play for either Liverpool or Manchester City. I really don't.
I know. Listen, if it does happen, my God, Liverpool going to be champions again next season.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. If Florian Wirtz signs for Liverpool, hand him the trophy already, because it doesn't matter who Man City sign. Florian Wirtz is just he's right up there for the best number 10s in the world. Like he's in the top 3 number 10s for me. Tempting transfer fee, but it's what you spend on exactly. Um, like I said, 9 players, like 9 players instantly. I would be signing straight away. Like not even a debate for me.
Yeah,
I know Spurs win a trophy. It's the season of the birds, apparently.
yeah, I know.
Awkward.
It is been season burst because Crystal Palace won the FA Cup, Newcastle won the Carabao Cup, Liverpool won the Premier League. Bloody hell, yeah, as well. Good morning, Michael. Yes, thank you. Appreciate you joining us this morning as well. Yeah, yes, I know we're in the shirt match all together. So yeah, the party's still going in the leagues in some ways, but we all calm down a little bit now. So yeah.
Can you just get relegated straight away next season?
Oh God.
No, I don't actually. I want you guys to stay in the league because I want the extra rivalry. I'm sick of not going without the the passion of that rivalry.
I know you, I know. I know. If Doug was listening, I think Doug might be listening to this because he's on his way down to Liverpool for the fight, tomorrow. So he's gonna be, fighting. So that's crazy.
Aye.
Right. Do you know what? It's time for keep, sell, alone, Manchester United edition. Chris, we'll leave him back. Listen, we've been more probably matching up this time, but I'm gonna be realistic. It's a bounce which just finished in 17th. As long as we finish above Man United, that's good for me. So
Fuck. For fuck's sake. Yeah, that's an option. My
no, no,
team,
Michael. You should know his team because he's got his shirt in the background, hanging up on the line on the line.
it's yeah, it's being dried up and spat out. Put it that way. Less said about my team, the better. I'll be 10 seconds.
All right, all right. Yeah, you know what, Chris? He has got a long list of departures actually, which I am going to bring up the squad once he gets back on because this is going to be quite interesting. How many players are going to be going out? Actually, it's going to be quite interesting because I looked at what Jamie Carragher said in the Daily Telegraph about it. I thought, bloody hell, that's a lot of players going. So yeah, my God, right. I'm going to get the Man United squad up now because this is going to be interesting how I'm going to do this. So right, okay, I have got the squad up of the players that should release once Reese gets back and from after getting his delivery of his new laptop stand, which hopefully will be better for him going forward. Yeah, I'm going to count up the numbers, how many players he wants to sell or keep. So yeah, and we'll start off with the goalkeeper first, and then through the back defense, midfield, strike, and up the forward role, and then vice versa with all the other reserve players who are away from the squad as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So right, Reese,
I've moved out the way just so I don't look at it. The close
you moved
pen to the.
out of the way.
I've actually moved it. Yeah, I'm like get out of my sight.
Okay, okay, right. Let's start off with one thing. Onana,
Sell instant.
Bayinda,
I know he's had a few errors, but we don't like. I think just as a backup, it's fine, provided he doesn't play a lot of games. I'll just say keep for now.
okay, Tom Heaton.
Good servant. Tell him to retire, and he can actually help coach these goalkeepers.
Okay. Lindelof,
Sell.
Missouri,
Keep.
Delay.
Sell.
Wow, okay then, yeah, not surprised. Maguire,
Keep for a season.
okay. Martinez,
Keep.
Tyrell Malacia,
Sell.
Patrick Dogu,
Keep. With a I think we could probably do a little bit better at left wing back, and maybe he can learn from it. He shouldn't be a starter, but yeah, keep,
Euro,
keep. Exciting young talent. I really like him.
cool. Luke Shaw,
100% sell.
yeah, okay.
Stealing a living.
Dowlow,
Sell.
okay, all right, all
I'd,
right.
I'd send him in a taxi anywhere right now if I could.
Heaven,
Loan.
loan, okay. Johnny Evans,
He's done. He is done. Let him go.
Harry Amas,
Loan.
okay. Uh, Tyler Fredrickson,
Loan.
Mason Mount.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was a Man United player. Even though he did score that wonder goal in Bilbao. For the amount of money we spent on him, we haven't had a lot of investment back. Personally, we haven't had a lot of investment back on him. But when he's fit, he actually plays really well and he fits the system.
Yeah,
But when I look at it, he's not available enough. He misses a lot of games, and I can't trust him to stay fit, so I'd sell.
okay. Bruno Fernandez,
I love the guy, but I want to go and see. I want him to go and win a league title somewhere before he retires, and we need to focus on rebuilding. He shouldn't be expected to carry this team in a rebuild phase. So my heart says keep, my head says sell. So I'm going to go with sell just for the fact that he deserves to go and win a league title. He isn't going to win one in the next couple of years with Man United. It's not a chance.
Alright. Christian Eriksen.
Let him go.
Okay. Casemiro.
Let him go.
Mama Ugarte.
Keep.
Okay. Kobe Menu.
Oh, I hope we keep him. I really hope we keep him.
Okay. I'm gonna go bypassing the young players. I know
Hmm?
Toby Kohler. You're gonna say sell because he's not,
Toby Collier, I would loan him out. I would
yeah.
loan him out. I think he's a decent player. Just didn't get enough opportunities.
I know Daniel Go went to Rotherham in January. Says a lot.
That's right, yeah.
Right, big one. Rasmus Hoyland.
Get rid of him pronto.
Marcus Rashford.
Sell.
Zertsky.
Keep.
Oh, okay, okay,
I don't think he's that bad. I think there's a lot worse around him. I think he's not. I don't think he's a striker though. I think he's more of a number 10.
okay. All right, interested. Ahmed.
Definitely keep.
Yeah, fuck about. Yeah, he's been your best player this season. Not gonna lie. Oh, this is another one. Garnacho.
Sell.
Yeah, I had a feeling after he did of the 20-minute cameo that he came on Wednesday night, just said it all completely.
Yeah, I agree.
Anthony, he scored a brilliant goal last night for Betis last night against Valencia.
He did. I think La Liga is the perfect place for him. It seems to just fit him really well, and
Yeah,
we won't get a full amount of money back on him, but we could get a decent fee, and I think it'd be good for him to get away. So yeah, sell.
Obi, I think Obi's a keep anyway. Yeah,
Yeah, keep him. Yeah, he's a good young lad.
and the last one, Sancho.
Please sell.
Yeah, I think Chelsea already got that. Already got that obligation now, so they have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. That is, yeah. You hear from Race that there's a lot of players selling. It's going to be a huge rebuild then. And yeah, it's going to be one huge rebuild. And not just across the summer, but across the next 2 to 3 transfer windows.
hmm
If it doesn't get, yeah.
we need to really go all out on this. Like we have no other choice. There's no European football next year, so there's no excuse for whoever the manager's going to be. Because we don't know yet fully what's going to happen with Amarim, but like if he's going to be the manager next year, he needs to get a proper rebuild on this squad and needs to really get working. There's no excuse not to have a style of play put in now in a full season. There's no excuse. And there's no excuse to get these players playing his way. But he also needs to find a plan B within his own three at the back system when it's not going wrong that he can make those tweaks because if he doesn't then it's not going to help.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Reese has got a long list of departures. Yeah, it's not a surprise. In
Yeah,
any other season departures would be, we know it should survive what you had. The two
true.
worst seasons Europa League final, and somebody wasn't the best final ever. It was the worst Europa League final of in
hmm
history with that one. I'm not gonna lie.
It was,
Uh,
yeah.
yep, sell for most of them. What Chris said, Aaron needs a window here, but he'll be under pressure straight away. Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
true.
I
Yep,
agree.
yep. And even come back to the comments a couple of years ago, Ralph Ranić warned everyone about United had been open heart surgery. Yeah, the players that he actually put down that he should have bought, they didn't buy. Especially for Alvarez, who went to Man City. Now he's doing that. Go to Atletico Madrid.
Exactly.
Yeah, that said, oh, and if for £70 million, Man City got him and they sold it for nearly 90 million euros. That just says it all completely.
Exactly. That's what annoys me is like they're right there for the taking.
Yeah, shot that has got no back. You carry United. Michael's made a good point here. United should never sell Scott McTominay for his part in Napoli winning the title. They should keep Rashford, who had nice career as a Villa. But like you said Rashford needs to get out. And needs to leave to go blossom somewhere. Does he go around Europe or does he stay in the Premier League?
I think he goes. I think he goes out. I think he goes out to another club in Europe. I personally don't think we should be keeping Marcus Rashford. We don't play a position that fits him, and we've tried to play him as a striker, and it doesn't work. constantly plays a striker now and again for Villa, and it's working. So it's clear that he just doesn't like playing as a striker for Man United. And I'm like, well, if a manager tells you to play in a position, you play there regardless. You don't whine, bitch, and moan. He's on 350k a week.
Yeah.
Like you get paid to do a job.
Mm.
So like in terms of like keeping Scott, should we now resource Scott McTominay? Yes and no. I mean, the whole PSR thing is a joke, but when you look at it, Scott McTominay was also very hot and cold for United. There was games where he was there and he made an impact, and there was other games where he went completely missing and he was a detriment. He's been very good this season because he's played in a very consistent position, but there's no. I think in hindsight, you can't really say that Man United should never have sold him because there's no guarantee he would have played in any of those positions at the club. I don't think in hindsight that would have been the case. I think he would have been still makeshift roles and it would have just been bizarre. But fair play him though still for winning Serie A. Like people think it's such an easy league to win. It's not
It's
an easy
not.
league to win. It's
No.
people who think that are absolutely stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. Needs to be a huge rebuild for United. Get rid of the Leopards. Yeah.
Yes,
Put that.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many things wrong there as well, and there's something got to be behind the scenes and the ownership as well. The ownership just it says all how far gone we are. They don't care. That makes it worse. When you have owners that don't care, that's when you're going nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. No chance. Emery's a bad manager. He's walked into circus. Yeah, that's a
I
good point.
agree.
Yeah, I agree as well. As well, and again, Michael saying this is interesting. Being, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to Barcelona because that link that he wanted to go to Barcelona in January before he went to Villa. So it'd be interesting because what Barcelona does in the summer because they just
Mhm.
signed Rafinha extension for another 2 more years anyway now.
He's
So
so good. I don't think Marcus Rashford starts for Barcelona.
I
Not in
think
their
he'll be
not in
more
their
of
main
an
team.
impact sub.
That's what I think. I think he would actually. There'll be games where he does start for them for sure, but I think he's an impact player. But
Yeah.
he might be an impact for Lewandowski, and then Ferran Torres goes back to being the backup winger. It might do him the world of good, but I think there's no shame being a backup to Lewandowski or being a backup to
No, I wouldn't as
Yamal,
well, actually.
Rafinha.
I agree as well. Yeah, because I think Barcelona always rated Rashford for quite a long time, actually, for a long, long time. Because especially the years before they went financial troubles. Before that, they always rated Rashford for quite a long time, actually. So
That's right.
that's not a surprise at all, actually. Right. Well, we have to talk about the game on Wednesday night in the Europa Cup League final. Two teams who finished in 16th and 17th in the Premier League. Somehow it was a work. They got into the conference final where Man United kind of blew it after losing 1-0 to Spurs after Brennan Johnson scored in the first half. And like I said, it's cost Man United £100 million, Reese. And again, it just shows, you know, a couple of days ago when Chelsea and Man United were playing in the FA Cup Women's Final, there was no Jim Ratcliffe again. He doesn't, he don't care about the women's side. But he went to the men's side and they lose 1-0. And all the situation was because of there were not going to be no parades, and they were going to have a barbecue in the training ground after this. And like what Chris just said, the worst fight I ever watched. Neither were good, and I didn't watch it. I knew it was gonna be quiet. I went out to meet with a friend on Wednesday night, and I just said, "I'm not gonna. I could not be bothered watching it," and I felt like it
Oh, it
was.
was horrible. It was a bad, bad watch, and I look at the whole issue of the goal and the play itself. United started really strongly, and they just couldn't do anything. It was really embarrassing. But like, I look at it, and it's embarrassing how bad United were. That United have beaten every single. United have only drew like 3 times in Europa League all season, unbeaten the whole way through. Get to the final and then lose it in such a disgusting fashion where you can't score against this Tottenham team. And the best chance we had was saved by Van der Ven, which is absolutely insane. But like Tottenham played, like Tottenham were just constantly shirking off challenges. They were playing very
Passing the
defensive.
bus after that goal, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and I don't blame them for it. But when I look at the entire play, Luke Shaw's ball watching. Maguire does nothing to cover his man, and he just lets it through. And then Onana, oh, Like, people are saying the goalkeeper's got no chance. If you look at that goal in
He
so
had a
many different
chance.
ways, he had the chance and he didn't do it. Like, he didn't extend his arm. He dived way too late, which I don't get why you would dive so little too late. He dives when the ball's about to cross the line, the absolute melon. And yet, with all the attacking players that we eventually did bring on, we still couldn't do anything. It was horrible. It was what horrible final. Even if Man United won that, obviously I would have been like, you know what, we've won a trophy, great. But to win it in such a bad way like that is depressive. But obviously, when it's against your club, it's worse. When it's your club, you're a little bit lenient. But it was just really horrific.
Mm. I was shocked as well.
Hmm.
And actually, a lot of criticism before the game. He questioned him being called like a clown before in his press conference before the game, and actually, for somehow he actually adapted his play for
He
once,
did.
and they just, yeah. And even I have to put down to United's like a quarter in the final third, which is actually a fair point. It just like I said, the back heel from Johnson after Shaw and goes for that. Like I say, it sums the final up completely. To be quite honest with you,
Yeah.
and somehow Spurs win a bloody trophy for the first time in what over 15 years, and
Hmm.
somehow now they can say to Arsenal fans, "Where's your trophy this season?"
Well, Arsenal fans are still saying they don't want to be in a B-rate competition, and I'm like, you were in that under Arsene Wenger, and you still couldn't win the final.
Mm,
Like, they're just a joke. But like, is no European football for Man United a blessing in disguise? Perhaps, but we'll see. Depending on next season, for me, there's no excuse for Man United to invest in the squad and actually attack the league. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but there's no excuse for Man United to actually push up the league and do better. Yeah,
Michael,
that's
I
true.
hate to say it, I do agree with you. Maybe now, as I happy seen some on right move this past week, Meslier has put his house up for sale, so it looks like he's going this summer. So
Well, he can't defend his home, let alone defend his own net. So
exactly, I have to agree with that. To quite honest with you, eventually I always backed it, but there was always an issue, and I just thought, you know what, maybe do we need to upgrade because like I said, but like I said, Onana does remind me of Millier, and that is a good point, Michael. That is a fair
he's
point.
awful. He's awful. He's awful, Nana, and
Yeah,
yeah, like that's the thing. Like, United fans have to deal with the fact that the inevitable happened. You know what I mean? Like the inevitable that the team who's not won a trophy in nearly 2 decades, almost 2 decades, is not going to be the case now. But obviously, like the team that won in 2 decades, losing the finals to Tottenham, any team
yeah,
like would have to suffer embarrassment. But Arsenal fans will try and make everything about them. But here's the thing: you haven't won anything since the Cup Winners' Cup.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You,
and
you,
Michael just actually, with actually it has been the Cup Winners' Cup. That was the last trophy they've won. Yeah. So
Arsenal have been in two UEFA Cup slash Europa League finals and they've lost both with
and
ease.
one Champions final when you sacrifice after the Lanes went off and you make the worst substitution ever, and then you lose to Barcelona. You know,
Oh, they got it so badly wrong, that substitution. They got it
yeah,
so badly wrong, taking off Pires.
yeah,
Idiots.
yeah, they recall that for themselves actually completely with that one.
But
So
Arsenal are an embarrassment. Like Arsenal fans can try and mock us United fans all they want, fair enough. But the difference is even in our worst era, we've still won more trophies than them. Even when we haven't played good football, we've still won more trophies. And at the end of the day, football is about winning trophies. It's not about celebrating coming second 3 times in a row
mm,
because you get nothing
mm,
for coming second.
yeah, there's no trophy for second place unless you are in the championship or in the EFL. You do get a trophy in if you're runners up in League Ones and League Two as well. So technically,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll always count the Cup Winners' Cup because Cup Winners' Cup used to be a very good trophy,
yeah, it
and
was, yeah.
a lot of very good teams have won the Cup Winners' Cup. Like that, they've proven it. Like Madrid have won it, Barcelona have won it, Man United have won it, Chelsea. I mean, to be fair, we can count Arsenal. Um, Aberdeen have won it, Rangers have won it, like Lazio, Parma, Inter, Juventus. If Chelsea win the Conference League final next week. Chelsea are the only club in European history to win every single European
Yes.
competitive trophy. That'll be a record that'll never get touched.
No,
Because you'll
it
never,
won't be
because I
broken.
don't think you'll see Man United in the Conference League.
Nope.
And even if Man United are in the Conference League,
You won't
I
even see
don't
like
think we'll care.
Juventus in the Conference League as well. So
Nah, you won't. If somehow we end up in the Conference League next season, though, I'd be like, just go and win it. I don't care. Like, just win it.
mm. Yeah, but yeah, I know.
Tottenham have qualified for the Super Cup as well. They'll play either PSG or Inter Milan.
Yeah, I know.
How funny would that be if Ange wins both of those like back to back? That would be insane.
If he's still there in next
Yeah,
Spurs, because that's another question now. You know, what does Danny Levy do now? Especially now, because we got what happens. I'm going to sack him, but I think they might be turned heads now, thinking we may have to keep Angel because he just won us a trophy.
I'll laugh if he actually comes out in a press conference and says, "Oh, I'm done. By the way, lads, he's bet against me. I'm away. Goodbye.
Yeah,
I'm going to take my Europa League and leave."
yeah. The problem
That'd
is
be
for
that.
Arsenal, yeah, if Chelsea could win, yeah, two two major London rivals winning trophy, then Arsenal don't win nothing. Yeah, that
But
is
that's the thing, though. It's free because Crystal Palace won the FA Cup.
that's true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, free.
So
Yeah.
it's three London rivals have won a trophy.
Yes, bloody hell! I know. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing for Arsenal fans to
I don't
realize.
know. I don't know how Arsenal fans can continue to present themselves in the conversation as a big club
I don't as well. It amazes
because
me but they still do that.
because I watch the overlap now and again just for the bad takes from Neville and Carragher because
Same.
they're bad take merchants. But I was watching that female Liverpool fan. I don't know her name, but she seems to speak really well about the game, which is a good thing to see. And she was talking about like, oh, the right wing position in all time Premier League 11. They were like, it used to be Ronaldo. Now she's like, now Mo Salah's that player, and I'm like, yeah, no, for me it's still Ronaldo, even though I would have David Beckham in an all time Premier League right wing 11.
Mm.
Um, that's the one, her, that chick. And then
Yeah, Chloe Box. Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I,
I thought it was. Yeah,
I burst out laughing when they went round and said, well, who else can be in the competition? Obviously, fans were saying, well, the likes of David Beckham, Pires, and all that stuff. And then you've got the one Arsenal fan who's sitting there and says, Bukayo Saka. And everyone's sitting there going,
what?
Bukayo Saka's done nothing in his career. Like, he's done nothing. Like, how can he be in an all-time Premier League 11? I get this is Arsenal fans forcing themselves into a conversation when I'm like, see if you had said Pires,
Yeah,
you would have been respected by your own fan base, but
I
no, you
know.
made yourself look like an absolute melon.
Yeah, this is my reaction when I thought about when she said Saka.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Exactly. That's what I thought as well. Yeah.
That is the reaction indeed. That is the reaction indeed. Absolute shocking, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's the 3 at 7 day. Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what's that. Oh my god, what the hell, though? What the fuck? Yeah.
exactly. It makes no sense.
No. God's sake, yeah, I don't get that at all. I don't get it with Arsenal fans, especially the social media ones that we talked about in the last couple of weeks about them. It just, yeah, I don't know what they're planning it on sometimes.
Not this one.
No, no, not this one. This one's way going above our solar system. That's all I
Yeah,
can say with that one.
yeah. Agreed.
Oh my god.
And they won't win a trophy next season.
No, they won't. They won't win the trophy.
They'll say they've got another treble coming, or they're going to win the quadruple, or they're going to win something in the rain, but nothing's going to happen.
No, no, absolutely not. Actually, no, not a Teta. Even though if they do get a striker, that could change. But if they don't get a striker, yeah, I'm not. You know, those Arsenal fans will do it. So you think you can win the trophy? You know,
Yeah. No,
you look
I
at
agree.
you look
Yeah.
at that PSG spent over £1 billion and they got to the final again and they could win it. Gets into like next Saturday in some ways. So
What are you doing, you weirdo? Like, go then, go. Hurry up. I'll turn off for just 1 second just so you can move about. Come on, hurry up. He's a dafty. He's a good kid, but he's a dafty.
I know. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. It's all right. It's Saturday, mate.
Arteta will still be there and give him more money, and they'll still fail to win a trophy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true, Chris. Yeah. My God, my God. You know what? I'm lucky I'm not going to watch the Premier League games tomorrow because I'm going to watch Thunderbolts tomorrow at the cinema tomorrow because I got my free ticket. Because
Nice.
I got my free view tickets. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go tomorrow and not think about how it goes the games. I'll keep an eye on the scores, but after I'm like, yeah, this is
Absolutely. I don't know who actually, if Arteta does go, I don't even know who they would replace him with.
I don't even know actually. That's a good question.
But
It,
they do need to consider it because he's not going anywhere.
yeah, yeah. He'll
Yep.
be yeah. I agree as well. Do you know what? There's one other thing I've heard in the news that Eric Ten Hag could be the next manager for Bayer Leverkusen.
Yeah.
That's been reported in the sky because we know that Ancelotti is now going after today. So yeah, Xavi will come in probably next week or so. Ten Hag, is that a good replacement for to replace Lawrence at Leverkusen?
I think it's a good appointment for them. He's not a bad manager, but he just did not work in the Premier League. I think if it's a good one for him, then it'll work. And if he wants to sign players from his former club, Hoyland, Onana, they're available.
They're available, yeah. For what price?
Don't care, just do it.
Justice for the egg, yeah.
Losing Wirtz, though, I think he's still going to lose a few more players in that squad, like something Cape, Grimaldo,
Boniface.
Boniface, yeah. Andrick is one. Uh, the Argentinian midfielder as well.
Oh
Casillas,
yeah,
I think is. He's another one. Like they're going to lose a lot of players in the summer, but if they can get the right kind of replacements in, they should be fine.
yeah. They should be fine indeed. I think they will be as well too. Well, yeah. You know what, Reese? As I said, it's the last show of the season. I want Grimado. That was it. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, yeah, Grimado.
That's
Yeah,
who I think. I think
yeah,
he's going to Jonathan Tah as well. He's who I would have replaced Delit with.
yeah, yeah. Tars going to buy it. I think going to buy me, and I think that's pretty much done in a way.
Yeah, I think Bayern will get. I think Bayern's the anger of not getting Florian Wirtz, so they'll be like, well, fine, we'll take Jonathan Tah. We'll weaken your defense and improve ours.
Yeah, true. What about the future Leroy Sané? Because that's going to be moves. I can't see that they cannot get a deal done. Does he go back to the Premier League?
I don't know where he goes. Um, be fun if he ends up at Dortmund, for example.
It would be actually interesting because I know some of the Dortmund, there's gonna be a lot of players leaving Dortmund this summer as well, and so that would,
Bino Gittins is one player that they have I really, really like.
yeah, so do I.
Really good player. I'm eager to see wherever Sani goes. I wouldn't mind Sani as a Man United player, to be honest. I honestly wouldn't, even though he played for City. I don't care. I actually would have, but I really wanted Jonathan Tah. I'm annoyed that we aren't even going to bother with him. But when I look at,
Mm,
he's an exciting centre back.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is a good point as well. Actually, you know what, Reese? That's the time I'm going to finish the show before we go. Before we go, like I said, listen,
Hmm.
it's been a good season doing all this content. And do you know what? After what I've been through last like a year ago, over a year ago with my personal life, I did not know if I was gonna do this. It was a lot of time to obsess and everything what I was going through mentally. But with the
Yeah,
support of you guys, getting me back on, I've enjoyed probably the best season I've ever had doing this content over the last 9 months. Not just doing the Saturday show, but doing the
yeah.
championship review every Sunday as well with Michael and Annie, and also Ant has been joining us as well, Nathan as well. And Doug joined us as well. It's been a good season of content I've enjoyed doing on here
And
as
I'm going to
well.
be around for more of it as well. If you guys will have me, I'm going to watch some. I'm going to start watching more games of the championship as well.
No,
Amongst my
absolutely as
other
well.
viewerships, amongst my other league viewerships, I'll be watching more of the championship. So
Yeah, as well. Like I said, I said, look, Reese, you've been a tremendous, guest as well. As I said, I will talk to you about a lot of things what I'm doing over the summer, what I'm planning to do because I've been speaking to Doug. 'Cause now I'm trying to build
yes,
things up now. So the small gains has been incredible. this season. So I'm building more games coming across the season with some stuff. And we'll, like I
Yeah,
said, this is the last Saturday show of the season. I was going to continue for another 2 more weeks, but I thought I'm going to finish it off and enjoy the summer break. But I will
rightly
be doing,
so.
yeah, but I'll be doing a lot of YouTube shorts as well with some sort of content as well.
Nice.
So that
I'll be watching them. I'll help promote you guys over the summer on my channel as well. I'll be doing that. A lot more from mine. So absolutely, you'll get that.
it's Douglas Michael who does the content. But like I said, I might be
Yeah,
looking at a bit of a name change because I've changed my last name recently. I might have to change the channel name, but as I said, I've got loads of plans I'm going to be discussing
I
once
quite
I'm
like it as the channel name as is. I quite like it.
well, I might keep it then. But like I said, you and I, Doug, and a few others, we'll discuss things over the summer. What I want to do as well too, just to do some stuff. Michael, I won't be doing any more live content during the summer break, but I'll be doing some YouTube shorts as well, doing some content when it comes to transfer news and breaking news as well. So that will be doing that during the summer. But as I said, I will probably be back on the first week of August, likely before the new season starts in the EFL and the Premier League and all the other leagues as well. So I should be back in August. But yeah, look, thank you for Reese for joining me as well. This past couple of weeks. I will say thank you to Chris from TD TV who joined most of the season as well. Thank you to
Yeah.
Doug as well, regularly, to Michael, to Dan, to Mike Green, to Chris Welch, who's been part of the content this past year as well. Like I said, I've enjoyed this. This has probably been the best season I've done, with the content of this year, only doing 2 shows, back Saturday, Sunday. I'm getting some life of with my life back in the championship, back, with my Sunday nights, but I'll still be doing content on that stuff, during the week. And like I said, I know Reese will be doing getting back to the world of football podcast with Julio
Yes.
and Nathan.
I'm trying to sort that. I'm trying to get yourself like involved in that as well. I've got a.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do a. I'm trying to get a hold of the lads because I gave the lads the other day my weekly steel chair schedule so they know what days I'm streaming on the steel chair, and I'm like, lads, can we just get a day sorted for the podcast because I want to do it every week. I want to get back to doing it weekly, so
yeah, same, yeah. I
I
agree
want
as
to
well.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to
no,
do that.
I've been looking forward to do that, and we're also going to try to do. We're going to try plan to do it in the season review, probably in the next couple of weeks. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe fortnight. Try to get. I spoke to Harry from Spursy Talk TV because he's been busy with the exams, but he said, "Listen, we'll get you on as well if we can get a cross platform together. All of us together, we'll do it anyway." And he said,
nice.
"Yeah," and he started to follow you as well, which I did tell him to do. So
Good man.
yeah, yeah,
I'm always around if anyone wants to talk, even if it's humiliating Man United. I'm definitely around.
yeah.
I'm planning. I can announce it today. In circumstance, in terms of the World of Football podcast. Don't worry, I'm not leaving it. Anybody, I'm not leaving it. My announcement basically is that I'm planning to do an end of season quiz. So it'll be random stuff. It won't be anything throughout the season. It'll just be a big quiz. If anyone wants to take part, they're more than welcome. Um, Obviously yourself, my friend. Obviously, if you're not doing live content on this channel, you're absolutely more than welcome to join us on the quiz.
I will do. I will be there no matter what.
But,
So we'll be
but
there.
if
Yeah.
But if anyone is watching, I'm going to see if I can get the date confirmed today with the lads. I'll ask them in our group chat. For some reason, Twitter was down the past couple of days, so we had to revert to the WhatsApp group chat, which was weird. But if anyone wants to join the quiz, I'm going to set it up for probably July. I think July might be the best time to ever have a month off. I've got a lot of content, obviously, the weekly steel chair coming up that I really need to keep blasting off.
Hmm.
No, I'm never gonna do that. I'm not gonna do a Griezmann. But I absolutely will be doing. Obviously, my content is getting crazily high on the steel chair. I'm getting a lot there right now.
Yeah.
I think it,
I've kind of moved on. Think because Michael and I did create a championship group chat on WhatsApp as well. So we still get the one on Twitter, but I think
I it was down for like 2 days. Like I don't know what the hell was going on.
yeah, I
So
know I've heard about that as well. So yeah.
shy, but yeah, World of Football podcast quiz. I'm gonna get that up and running. For it might be end of June. If not, it'll be start July. But I'm gonna really like knuckle in on it. Hopefully, we can get it prepared and then see where we go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, appreciate that, Reese. And like I said, everyone knows where you are. Tell them where you are. You're on the weekly steel chair. on your
Yeah.
channel as well.
Yeah, Weekly Steel Chair is my YouTube channel. The Steel Chair on Twitch, but it's chair with a one, and then you can find me on the World of Football podcast as well. I'm really gonna get the lads to knuckle in and get back up and running for that for fun. It's gonna be awkward for Nathan doing League One content, but we'll keep him happy.
We'll keep him
Um,
happy. And do you know what, Chris? I know Chris is a situation because of with Carlisle going down. Chris, we'd love to have you on more because you've now been in the non-league. We want to get your the news and that story in the background as well. So please
yes,
join us also when the show comes back the show comes back late this summer. But like I said, I'm gonna join a good break off. I've been doing a lot of producing, hosting, everything, and I've been enjoying it. But I deserve a long break, and I'm glad I am. It's going to be a good break off for me for the rest of the summer. I am not doing any content on the Club World Cup. I cannot be bothered with that. Even though I'm going to watch some of the games, but I'm not going to do any content on that. It's just not me anyway. So I just want
no,
to take.
absolutely. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, but I'm going to join a long break this summer. I'm going to have a good summer ahead. But I am going to come back a lot more stuff over the content. I might do some stuff in the Women's World Cup in the shorts as well too, Michael. That will be probably the fact I will do because that's going to be interesting in some parts as well because of the Women's European Championships in July. So I'll be doing a bit of
Nice.
that. But like I said, I'll be doing some more football news contents throughout the summer on our shorts channel because that's where
Yes.
I'm getting the big viewership numbers recently. So
Oh, YouTube Shorts are so good. I mean, I've got a couple that are over a couple of thousand. They really do help. If you get it right, you can certainly do that. I do like random like daily ones, which helps. So they're really good to do. I quite like them, but I prefer the live streams. But I'm blending my content, so I'm acting more the gaming streams now, and I'm still doing more one-to-one conversation. I'm trying to get more people on. I'm trying to do maybe once or twice. I'm trying to do like an interview. Um, See how that goes. But it's madness.
it's madness as well too. It's madness as well too. But Reese, you've been a solid guest. So like I said, we'll plan more this summer. We'll have some upcoming news. We'll have maybe some new permanent members on the Saturday show going forward, and also a few of the championship review if I'm still doing the content as well. So yeah, like I said, we've got some ideas this summer. We'll be discussing it all of us across the summer, and we'll take it from there. We'll make an announcement during around the summer before the new season starts. So
Sounds perfect.
yeah, absolutely. Reese, thank you very much as usual, and thank you for everyone for watching as well
Thanks for
too.
having me.
Yeah, no, as well. Enjoy the games today and the final games of the Premier League tomorrow. Whoever you support, even though if you're a Man United fan, I know it's gonna be embarrassing against Aston Villa tomorrow. Sorry, Reese, to rub that in,
No, it's
but
true.
but
I
like I
think Villa are
said,
going to win.
yeah, but these are the last games for two of the players who are playing the Premier League for Trent Alexander-Arnold and Kevin De Bruyne, and their last games tomorrow for Man City, Liverpool. Also, Abed Decoye, last game for Everton as well. He's announced his leaving as well. And like I say, we say goodbye to Ipswich, Southampton, and Leicester, who already been relegated already. We probably won't see maybe 2 out of 3 of them again in the next couple of years. So not unfortunately. But like I said, Liverpool are champions of England, and I know it's a put shame for all of us, but as I said, Leeds are back up. But like I said, everyone have a good summer. Thank you very much for listening, and take care of yourselves. Have a good summer if you're going away. Have a good time. But like I said, we'll see you back here on this channel sometime in early August. So have a good summer. Take it for now. Bye bye.